Good afternoon, people. Welcome to another episode of Double the Innocence. Your boy E Double is going to bring it to you live and direct. If there's any of you guys that have been actually watching any of my podcast videos, my YouTube videos, I should say, sorry, probably asking yourself, why is this guy always driving? Where's he going? This is part of my life, so I do drive, and I do my best thinking and speaking, or whatever the case may be, when I'm actually driving. This is one of the places I feel very comfortable. It's not going to be the only place you guys are going to see me, but this is the place I feel very comfortable. That being said, before I go any further, share, like, and subscribe. Let's get those likes up. Let's get those subscriptions up. I'm going to share something with you guys that I've never really actually shared with anybody. Well, I have, but I mean like not on a wide scale. I'm not even sure if my brothers or my deceased sister was aware that this was something that took place. My mom, God rest her soul, definitely, she was part of this whole equation. When I was younger, I must have been in probably grade 7. That was the first time VHSs, if you guys remember, around that time when they came in. So, you know, my mom, she got a VHS, picked it up at Sears. And I want you guys to just stay with me for a minute because I'm going someplace with this. My mom bought a VCR. We had a VHS. And it just so happened that Sears was a place that you could rent movies from. They had a little place upstairs that you went and you had movies, but you had a deadline, you had to bring them back or you were charged extra. Instead of like the Blockbusters and all that kind of stuff, Sears was the spot. Perfect. So we had rented some movies, and of course, me being the youngest one, I got stuck. I was the one that had to bring them back because when I was growing up, we didn't have access to vehicles and stuff like that. My mom was a person that took public transportation, the bus and metro. So I grew up knowing about the bus and the metro. I brought it back to the shopping center, to Sears. And in that particular shopping center, it had an arcade. And the arcade was a place where a lot of the kids that I went to school with, they hung out there. They had that privilege. I was one of those kids, I wasn't the only kid, but I was one of the kids, I didn't have that privilege. My mom was not giving me money to go play video games. She wasn't wasting her money on stuff like that. So the only way I was ever going to get a chance to really do anything like that is if I found 25 cents on the ground. That was the only way I was doing that. And we were brought up with a rule. We send you someplace. Where we send you, you go and you come right back. Period. So I went, I brought back the movies, I took the bus, the public transportation, brought back the movies, brought them upstairs, and decided to go to the arcade to see if any of my friends were there. It just so happened none of my friends were there. So I was sitting out in front of the arcade on a bench. And a little shortly after that, a gentleman sat beside me. I was young at the time, young and very naive. He struck up a little bit of a conversation. But, oh yeah, why are you sitting out here? Why don't you go inside and, play some games? I can't, I ain't got no money. Oh, okay. And like I said, this was a very long time ago, so I don't remember detail for detail of exactly what happened, but I do remember the important factors of this. Because for some strange reason, it stayed with me for the rest of it stayed with me up until this point in time. Somewhere along the line, it came down to if I'd be interested in being in a movie. I'm a kid, of course. Yeah, eyes light up. Well, okay, we could go. I got a studio, the whole bit, song and dance. And I'm telling you, I was 50%. I had 1 foot out the door to actually do this. But in the back of my mind, all I'm thinking about is, when I get home, there's nothing in the world I could tell my mother to get myself out of it, because she sent me to drop movies off. I'm supposed to do that and come right back. So when I get home, I could tell her all the nonsense about, oh yeah, I was in a movie. It wouldn't have made no difference in the world. I know my was grass. But wow, movie. To make a long story short, I mean, and this was, he did a little bit of trying to persuade, but I said I wouldn't be able to do that. I would have to let my mom know where I'm going. Yeah, okay, but this, that, the other. Again, in the back of my mind, all I'm thinking about is what would be waiting for me at home when I got home. That's all I'm thinking about. At the back of my mind, I'm just hearing, there's something in the back of my mind reminding me. So I put it out there again. Nah, I won't be able to do something like that because I have to let my mom know first. He said, oh, okay. Give me your phone number. I'm going to call your mom at some point in time and maybe we could set it up at a later date. Perfect. Bam, 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 bam. That's the number. Went straight home. Got in the house, told my mom right away, said, Mom, this man at the mall or whatever, he's talking about movies, I gave him the number, he said he's gonna call you, blah, 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 blah. My mom sat there, she said, okay. Went home from school the next day, because I want to find out, for all I know, knowing myself, I was probably even bragging at school about how I'm gonna be in a movie, knowing myself at that time. Came home, asked, yo, Mom, did the man call? No, nobody called. Okay. Couple days, same procedure. Excited little kid, of course. Maybe about a week later, my mom called me. She called me and she made me sit down. She goes, Errol, I was listening to CJAD because that was a very popular radio station in my house growing up as a kid. I just remember growing up and waking up and hearing that. I know a lot of you guys can relate to what I'm saying. And she said she was listening to CJAD and she heard that there's some predators going around offering kids opportunities. And then taking advantage of them. And that jolted me. The reason why I'm saying this story is because, thank God, the fear I had for the discipline my mother instilled in me made me make a right decision that day. So I'm a firm believer. I think, and listen, I'm only giving an opinion. I'm not really trying to rock any boats. I'm really not trying to offend anybody. But I just really believe that society should just let parents raise their kids. That's just my opinion. Because I could have been a victim if it wasn't for the way my mom was bringing me up. So I thank God that I missed out on what potentially it could have been. But what about those? What about those that for whatever reason aren't equipped to make that particular kind of decision? Now, was I a child that was raised with an iron hand? And I wouldn't change a darn thing. Because I can't really talk. I mean, I could go over a lot of other things that have really saved me from, but this is one thing that stayed very dear to my heart, because it's one of those things where you sit back and wonder, like, yo, what would my life have been if? Okay, there is that possibility he really was a producer and he really was making a movie and stuff like that. Come on. I was a kid sitting on a bench by myself with no money. Doesn't that scream exactly what an individual with bad intentions is looking for? Food for thought. Just think about it. These are just reflections I'm having, and I'm just deciding to share it with the public. But, again, it's open for discussion. Share, like, subscribe, comment. Tell me what you guys really think. I missed it, and I thank my maker every day. Because I don't know what type of effect that might have had on the rest of my life. But like I said, right now it's not really about me, because I've had an opportunity to be there. I've done that. I work with kids, so it's about trying to save them right now. Share, like, and subscribe. Double the Innocence and E double is out.